Good morning. Thursday, July 7, 2022, and it is not deja vu all over again. And I did not mess up the titles image this morning. This is back to Boris Johnson. We'll get to him very, very quickly. But first, let me explain myself. I am Jay Clifton Payne. This is our things you might not have heard. This is going to be a quick, brief discussion of some news stories. We've got 8 stories in the docket today that have been vetted by you guys out there across the internets from stories that we posted every 50 minutes or so in the last 30 hours of stuff. So we post news stories on our feeds attached to the Conversation Project, and we let you and your engagement scores help us figure out what stories to talk about to kick your morning off, to give you some coffee talk going forward. As we like to call ourselves, your news side piece, your tertiary source of news, not necessarily your main source, but we do have main source news plus some random things going back and forth to give you so that you can also see what's going on as well. Find out more details about all the things we got going on at thisisconversationproject.com, including how you can help us out by visiting our sponsors, partnering up directly, or just doing some other tasks that we're looking for. Really, really needing some more folks to follow us on the YouTube so we can get that custom URL. Looking for that one going forward. Now let's go to some news that right now is literally breaking as we're speaking and breaking as we're getting up to get prepared. Embattled UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson agrees to resign. I pulled this from US Today literally as I sat down at the computer to get things started. Now, the very short version of how we work this thing out, I'll explain it deeper later on, is about 5 a.m. every morning Central Time. I get to the computer, I pull the data for the work, the numbers, and I put them into a spreadsheet that gives us an engagement score for the past 30 hours. Up about 15 minutes prior to that time, the story busted out on the news as I turned it on while I'm watching on my computer. I went ahead and put this in there to replace this as a story early on, thinking we'll have this as the teaser story for tomorrow, even though it will have happened. And while it did not get massive super numbers, it popped up within the range of about 15 minutes or so to be within the top 15, within the range to talk about. So this is our top story. Whether it's tops by numbers or not, it's not, but it's a top story since it's breaking right now. We're definitely getting into it. So as the story is getting along, I'm literally waiting right now because they're expecting Boris Johnson to speak any moment now. It's middle of the afternoon in London, so it's daytime is working itself through daytime right now. And Boris Johnson has essentially, for the past couple of weeks, been battling the fact that he needs to be kicked out of office, or people think he needs to be kicked out of office, including people that he works with in his own party. Yesterday was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back when two of his major ministers both resigned and said that Boris Johnson should as well. Over the past 24 hours, more people have either stepped up to him and said he should leave and he fired them, or more people have literally left their post. While he did survive his no confidence vote from about a month ago, that confidence from a month ago is definitely gone. Now, what we're waiting on is the prime minister to say whether he's leaving like right now, whether he's leaving in a week, or whether what we hear he wants to do is to stay in the job for about 3 more months until they actually officially pick a new prime minister and actually get some work done, as opposed to slide out of the way. We shall see what Boris actually does. And this will probably pop up while this is going on, so we'll go get more details on this one as it happens. This is going to be the biggest story across the nation because this is extremely similar to what's going on with Donald Trump, who did not want to leave office and doesn't want to go away in this case. And we're finding out because, we're not over there, just how unpopular Boris Johnson actually is and just how scandal-ridden what he's been doing actually is. It's bigger than Partygate. It's bigger than a lot of things. Let's move on to story number 2 for this morning. Professional volleyball player Key Alves makes 50 times more money from OnlyFans account. Firstsports.com on that one. And yes, we are kind of addicted to OnlyFans stories, but they just always play out essentially like this. Now, granted, this player, this person, this one performer is in the top echelon of what's going on, and she's probably got a big help because she's famous for doing something else. However, she makes 50 times as much money as she does playing volleyball than she does on the cameras with her OnlyFans account. What's in her OnlyFans account? I don't know. We didn't go that deep, but you can check out the story itself and hear her in her own words explain how bad the pay is for professional volleyball, how bad the pay is for professional volleyball for women, and how, weirdly enough, how good the pay is for some lucky folks on the OnlyFans platform. Story number 3 this morning. Elon Musk reportedly welcomed twins in November with Neuralink's executive Shivon Zilis. Daily Beast, thedailybeast.com with this story here. And before I go into Nick Cannon mode, which I really wanted to go into when I saw the story. You've got to kind of weigh it out on the level. Nick Cannon, I think, has right now going on 9 different children with about 7 different women, and he's of course has this weird vow of celibacy, which allowed him to have 3 more children with 3 more women since he had that vow, of course. One set of twins with Mariah Carey, of course. Now, it gets really crazy with this one because Elon Musk just had a baby with Grimes, the music star, a few months ago. And as they announced the baby, which was a kind of a secret, their second baby, they were breaking up in the process anyway. What else was going on? Around the same time that Grimes was giving birth to her second child with Musk, this woman who's an executive at one of his companies, was giving birth to a set of twins. Elon Musk now has 9 kids. Now, to be fair, I believe the first 5 all were with his first wife, so he's not quite stepping around on that territory that we're calling for with Nick Cannon. But 9 kids, it's a lot of children. I'm not going to, fight that because, he's a billionaire and he can take care of 9 kids with all his weird situations. But it is sort of an oddity that he's welcoming his second child with his partner. At the same time, he's welcoming 2 more children with someone else he's supposedly working with. She's supposedly a genius. The article goes deep into how smart she is and what she's accomplished, and really kind of gloss over the fact that, they're having kids overlapping in relationships. Eric Holder Jr. convicted of first-degree murder in 2019 shooting death of rapper Nipsey Hussle. CBSNews.com is our source for this story, and we finally have some resolution to this story. We can finally have a conviction of the person who shot, no longer unallegedly, the man who shot Nipsey Hussle 3 years ago at this point. This is 2022. And this is something that's, of course, a really big deal all over the local news in California, Los Angeles area, as people are essentially still in mourning for the rapper, the community leader. This is this man, Nipsey Hussle. Go deeper into the story by reading it at our website or search it online. But we now have a resolution, a conviction for Eric Holder Jr. for the shooting of Nipsey Hussle. Former White House lawyer Pat Cipollone agrees to transcribe interview with January 6th committee. abcnews.com.go gives us that one for our next story. And this is one that is a pretty simple way to what's something basically expected. After testimony of a White House staffer who worked around Mark Meadows and was in for some of the big meetings, dropped Cipollone's name a lot of times, saying a lot of things that he said to her. He, who had been, of course, avoiding his any time with the January 6th committee, finally agrees to some time. Now, he's not going to do it live. He's not going to be a part of that sort of circus, but he will do a transcribed videotape deposition interview, essentially, for the committee. We expect that clips of that will be played in another prime time venue for people to see the live version. But because of how these things work out, it's really important for the people running the committee. And if you've seen the way they've run it, it's literally run like a documentary type operation for the committee to be basically know what's going to be said first. And because they're going to record him, but he will not actually show up live afterwards, they'll have the transcriptions for the public to read eventually at some point in time, and what's happening now with the people. So we will hear from Pat Cipollone fairly soon via a deposition, a interview, which will be transcribed and probably played back pretty soon by the committee. Our next story is this one. Funeral held for 21 teenagers who mysteriously died at nightclub in South Africa. CBSNews.com with this one. And while there have been many calls for making sure that the sale of alcohol to minors, to young people, is limited. They're not just over boozing folks. The big problem is no one really knows why and how these 21 teenagers died in this pub. No one really knows what the cause of death is, or at least it's not been reported at the time that we posted the story on a national scene, on a worldwide scene. Just 21 teenagers were in a pub and they all died, or a nightclub, and they all died at the same time, same night. Alcohol poisoning or something like that is suspected, but we don't have a real resolution on this one. We're looking for a definitive autopsy report of what exactly happens before judgment can really be laid on something like this. But right now, 21 students are being laid to rest because of whatever happened that night. Amazon Prime members to get free food deliveries through Grubhub deal, thehill.com with this one, and this is a pretty cool one. Amazon is going to buy a stake into Grubhub, about 10% or something, basically on the initial buy. And with that, integrating Amazon into, or Grubhub into your Amazon Prime purchases. If you have food deliveries coming there that you use Grubhub to use, then along with other free delivery services from Prime will basically cover the cost for Grubhub to get your stuff to you. Sounds pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool. We'll see how that works out in theory. Not that it's not going to work out, but it sounds cool. We'll see how it works out when the integration comes up. Amazon doing its best to basically overtake the world in getting stuff to people. Amazon is my number one place to go to. I have other sources, but Amazon is so simple and easy to deal with. It just is. Of course, that is until it isn't. Some people aren't so thrilled with Amazon, and of course, competition is there as well. So we'll see if the added lack of competition, if you will, adding Grubhub to its delivery service so they get paid for in your Amazon Prime deal, which will probably actually go up, it's going to be a good thing. U.S. funeral home owner who sold body parts pleads guilty to fraud. Reuters.com gives us this one. We're only dropping this one in here, and we're going to go through this quickly because we put it in as a teaser story, and this was posted very well enough inside of the stories you vetted as conversational that we need to put it in there. We're not going to go deep into the story, but this is a story that's been going on for a bit. But a director of a funeral home who was allegedly, or they claimed that was selling body parts from the people that they were dealing with, pleads guilty to fraud in some very, very serious cases. Go deeper into the story if you will. Let's go to our teaser story for today. This is one that will bring us a bit of some. Today, here's the headline. Women who schedule intercourse sessions are more likely to get pregnant. What does that mean? How does that happen? What does that have to do with you and I? Well, if you watch this story, read the story, and it's going to be a while if this one posts. This is not going to post for a few hours, actually. We have a lot of stories stacked up ahead of time when we moved things out this morning for Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Oddly enough, it shifted a whole lot of things forward. So we got a lot of stories that are on the whimsical side, such as this one out there. If you want this one to be a part of tomorrow's conversations, hiccups and coughs, almost got through. Engagement is all it needs. So when the story pops up in the feeds, make sure you engage with it, you like it, you love it, you hate it, you share it, and then we can talk about this more tomorrow. Sorry, let me deal with this. You can also go to our website and click on the link for our partnerships, and click on buy me a coffee and buy me a morning coffee tea as that goes as well. So right now, this is it. If you want to talk about this story, you just find it when it gets in the feeds and engage with it and roll it up the score, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, let's roll up the score on our investment. Check out this is theconversationproject.com/fundrise, and you can get in the world of investing right now. Pretty simple for real estate. Real estate is kind of crazy, right? They're extremely crazy right now. Right now, the feds are doing what they can to cool down the real estate market so that the prices of housing, the prices of apartments and houses are going to be level off. They won't go down too much because once they're up, they're hard to get them down. But the prices of things will go to something that will be manageable, or at least not keep jumping up at extreme cost. What can you do about that to make some money about this right now and in the future? Fundrise allows you to buy into funds, just like mutual funds, just like stock funds, on various properties across the nation. They are managed by people who know what they're doing. They buy good properties for rent, buy good properties to sell, buy good properties to renovate and turn around, and you get a chance to invest into their work and earn little dividends from there. My portfolio is up about 7% since I started this in January. So my money is going up. This is not my main source of income. I'll tell you that right now. We're not Rockefellering on the real estate, but this allowed me to get into real estate without having to buy a bunch of houses and try to get them all done, do the work into that. You can check them out right now. They'll also give you some extra shares into the fund you choose right now. And I still believe you're going to get 30 days off any advisory fees. So they take a percentage off of your fees, to your money in to pay for what you're doing, and for the first 30 days It's free. So it's free money for the first 30 days. I believe that's there. Check it out, and they'll tell you exactly what's going on. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/fundrise and check them out today. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a little bit for you coming in as a finder's fee, but you will find that if you want to get into some diversified investing, and real estate's been something you hadn't figured out how to get into, it's been figured out for you right there at Fundrise. Places you might want to check out because it helps us out. This is theconversationproject.com is our main website. All the details and everything we do are there at this website. Check it out. You will love yourself for it, and we will love you when you check things out there, including links for more sponsors, links for partnership things, and other things we're doing right now. Our feeds are on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/ThisIsAConversationProject and Twitter.com/TH_conversation. When you follow us on Facebook and Twitter, every 50 minutes we post a link to a news story that we're looking for you to tell us if it's really conversational or not. Engage in it. Some of them are big time, like this morning with Boris Johnson. Some of them are a little weird, like the upcoming story about, planning your sex means you get pregnant. But you tell us whether it's an interesting water cooler and coffee talk situation, and we tell you that in the next morning. We give you the next day's worth of stuff, or the past day's worth of stuff, to talk about going forward. We're on TikTok, and we're getting a lot of response to TikTok. I'm sure it's not, like blazing hot response, but it's a lot of response on TikTok. People are looking there and coming back to here. So check us out at TikTok at The Conversation Project. I have a couple other TikToks as well. Still not really getting into the purpose of me actually sitting on TikTok, because it really is a bunch of people in t-shirts switching to bikinis and weird songs, which, if you're down with that, you're down with that. And our YouTube channel is at thisisaconversationproject.com/YouTube. Actually, it's not there. That's the link to go straight to do that, kind of skip around it, because there still is like XXTXWVY5. We need to change that. We don't have enough subscribers for the YouTube channel. So whether you are watching this on Facebook or you watch this on the other YouTube channels, want to do this on Mondays, check it out. Go to this link. Subscribe on YouTube so we get those numbers, so we can change that name, and of course hit notifications so that when this thing goes live at 5:50 a.m. on every single weekday morning, Lord willing, creek don't rise, you'll be able to get that notification and watch me immediately. A few more things to roll out of here today. I'll get you to get into your tea talk or coffee talk or water talk or smoothie talk. Ringo Starr turning 82 years old today on July the 7th. Also Shelley Duvall at 73, and Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, at 56 years old on this day. Today we celebrate Macaroni Day. We spotlight Macaroni Day, so hopefully you'll find some time to celebrate Macaroni Day. Make some macaroni and cheese for yourself. Make a macaroni necklace with the kids. Have some macaroni fun today. Going out the door, researchers found that ants are so tiny they create restroom areas in their nests. There you go. This has been some things you might not have heard. Maybe you'd have, maybe you haven't. But today, this morning, is Thursday, July the 7th, 2022. Take it along with you on your ride into work from the bus, or as you're walking in to hanging out with your friends, or sitting at the coffee shop getting your first cup of coffee and chit-chatting with the barista. Drop some of these nuggets of wisdom and see how they go. If you enjoy what we're doing, go by our website, thisisaconversationproject.com, and see ways that you can help keep things going. It's very simple and costs you little. In fact, just basically the actions you do by going to our sponsorships. Or if you deem us well enough, click on the Buy Me a Coffee link and buy me a coffee. They help. Each and every little bit chip in helps immensely. Make sure you're out there praying for all the folks in the world, because there's so many things happening. That is so many crazy things out here in the world, to include the fact that we still have to deal with some of the unrest and craziness that we have here. People aren't liking each other. People are shooting each other at random times and unrandom times. That is a problem. More love, less hate. Let's work on that. Make sure you stay limber, you stay hydrated, and stay on task. We need you to do all the great grand things going out there for you. Shout out to my man Josh out there watching us overseas. We are praying for you, and I got a box on its way to you very, very soon, so hang out for that. In the meantime, you hang out on our feeds every 50 minutes. As we say, we are going to provide for you some links to other stories, and you do the other bulk of the work. You tell me which stories I'm going to talk about tomorrow. You actually set the rundown, so keep on. Bye. Sorry about that, having a stroke. Keep on looking out for those stories. Keep on looking out for things that are interesting, and let us know what we can do. Reply back to the comments, whether in the future or live, what we can do to help out. Thank you so much. Let's wrap up for another good one for Friday.